You're watching Ride Like a Local with Belt Drive Betty. Welcome to Season 7 of Ride Like a Local. In this first episode, we start the season off as always at the January Motorcycle Shows, the 2019 versions. So I'm being joined right now by a gal named Amber, whose booth caught my eye because it's about Cheetahs racing. Now, I'm sorry, Cheetahs that I know are cats. So how did you guys come up with the name? Because that's very catchy.
So actually, the girl who started the Racing Cheetahs, she's actually not in the booth right now, but that's Cynthia Prefontaine, and she started it back in about 2016. Don't know where she came up with the name, but it's really, really catchy, like you said. And we've been doing a lot of research about cheetahs and stuff. You know, they're fast, they're witty, really motherly-like.
So let's tell my audience a little bit about what the Cheetahs really are.
So the Cheetahs are off-road orientated riders so far as to what we've got since 2016. They've been competing in all around kind of events. We're motocrossers, we're off-road enduro riders, we're quad racers, we're 24-hour non-bum racers. So it's just the extremist type thing, and you know, adding this new thing to the list is definitely going to be awesome.
So you're a navigator. Let's talk about what that job does.
So me being the navigator, I have to be the person with the map on the side, running all the different compasses that we're given for this event as well too, making sure that we are on track, getting out of the side-by-side, running up sand dunes and stuff and making sure there's nothing on the other side, making sure that we just keep track the entire event and making sure that we're making the shortest distance possible.
So when you guys are out racing, I heard you talking about a big event that's coming up. Tell me a little bit about that event and what it is that you're fundraising for.
So we've decided, well, we've been talking about this since January. We first kind of saw our first YouTube video on this, plus she had somebody go in 2015 that we've been chatting with. It's called the Rally of the Gazelles over in Morocco, Africa. It's a navigator driver scenario, all-girls event. I'm just still really mind-blown that we've even decided to do this. But the fundraising side of it, we do need to fundraise approximately $50,000 to $55,000 for this whole event to happen. You got the shipping of the side-by-side, you've got the event costs, you've got the flights, you've got the navigation training. So there's a lot that needs to go into it in a very short amount of time. So we're doing our best to rush, but, you know, even if we don't make it after this show, pushing to 2020 won't be that bad for us because we'll have a lot more time to prepare and organize and make sure that Western Canada, in its first time in history, does well in this event its first go around.
So the Gazelles event, that's going to be something we have to basically be following this year, see how these gals do, whether they can get in this year or whether they do it for next year. But I think this is an organization we're going to want to follow up with because I'm all about the chicks.
That's great. As well, too, it'll be awesome for the public to watch as well on their website. The Rally of the Gazelles is what it's called. Rally # Gazelles is actually what it is online. And you can actually go to a tab. We will actually have a GPS tracker on there where you, the public, can sit at home, get onto that website, type in Team Canada, and watch us actually travel through the middle of the desert, hitting our checkpoints throughout the whole 9-day event.
Go Team Canada!
Hey guys, Amber and Cynthia here coming from you from shop at Rainy Creek Powersports with our race rig. We've got some bad and some good news here for you guys. So, tough call for us this year. We didn't quite fundraise as much funds as we wanted to sign up for the 2019 event, but officially, this is our confirmation letter that we are officially 2020 competitors for the 30th annual Rally of the Gazelles. Cynthia, did you want to mention anything?
I'm excited.
All right, so you can check us out on Facebook / Racing Cheetahs and follow us on our adventure. Again, we're still looking for a ton of support, so every dollar definitely helps us get to Africa. So
we still have those wonderful hoodies for sale
yes,
too. We have
hoodies.
t-shirts, we have Wonderful, and yours as well, when they're turned the right way. So if you guys want any of that, also either write to Amber or write to myself, and we'll hook you up.
All right. Cheers.
Riderfriendly.com combines a social business directory with content marketing. Create coupons, special offers, and events, and let us promote them for you. Riderfriendly.com, helping riders find rider-friendly businesses. Halford, Saskatchewan, Canada's most rider-friendly community from the 2018 riding season. Located between North Battleford and Prince Albert and not far from Saskatoon, it's the perfect day ride destination. With welcoming folks and great small businesses, Halford has everything you could need while out for a motorcycle ride. Halford, Saskatchewan, Canada's most rider-friendly community, 2018.
I'm at the Edmonton Motorcycle Show, and no visit to the show is complete unless you come and visit the Canadian Vintage Motorcycle Group. Right, Hans?
Right,
Larry?
that's for sure.
Why? Because our roots, our foundation for our community is all on display right here in their booth. Let's talk a little bit about the theme for this year, because you guys always have kind of a theme for the bikes you bring out.
Well, this year the theme is actually just a general one, just vintage bikes in general. I know in the past we've had themes like bikes for different purposes, you know, from off-road to street and so on, and we featured that. And then bikes from all parts of the world. So we'd have bikes from France, from Italy and so on, and we'd feature that. This year we're just sticking to a theme of vintage bikes in general.
What is your favorite aspect of collecting motorcycles?
Well, to try and keep my wife happy, that after the first dozen, it's kind of hard to keep going. But anyway, we kind of like the group, and there's support, and of course it's right across Canada, and we do have a newsletter that comes right from. Basically, it's in Ontario, but we've got members right from Newfoundland to Victoria, and there's over 2,000 members in the club.
There's over 2,000 members in the Canadian Vintage Motorcycle Group. Now, let's put that into some context. There's about 850,000 motorcycle riders nowadays. About 2,000 of you actively collecting and promoting the vintage stuff. How do you think the younger generations are actually picking up on the history? Do you think that they're absorbing it? Are they coming, the younger people, and going, oh, that's cool?
Well, we're finding that it's more and more difficult to attract younger members to our club. Like if you look at the mean age in our club, it's probably in the 60s somewhere. And we do have the odd member that's younger than that, but the younger generation, having a son that's of a younger generation, they're just not joiners. They don't like the formality of clubs and so on, and they just meet. He belongs to, I guess you would call them clubs, but they're very loose. They meet Tim Hortons, things like that, and they kick tires in the parking lot. So they're still out there. They're just not. We come from a generation where you joined a club and everything was everything set up as a club. You had an executive and so on. The groups these days are much looser than that, but they're still out there.
What are they taking away when young people come by your booth? What are they asking you?
Well, they still all appreciate this old stuff, especially these days, there's a lot of retro bikes out there. All the manufacturers are producing bikes that are very similar to the ones that they produced in their heydays in the 60s and 70s and so on. And so there's a lot of retro bikes coming back, and they can see the heritage when they come by our display and see these bikes and see where these bikes had come from, right?
What is the one thing that you would love to tell a younger person about vintage motorcycles?
Well, the thing that I really enjoy about them, of course, they're traditional bikes. They're not sport bikes. Or when we were kids, we would use our motorcycles for everything. Hill climbing. We had one bike basically. And the thing about the vintage bikes, you can get a little bit better deal on insurance, and you can run a vintage plate if it's 25 years old, so you don't have to register it every year. And the nice thing about it is just the camaraderie. I mean, we have a section in Calgary and one in Red Deer. So we've been doing this for a number of years, and we know a lot of those guys. So we can go to different towns, Saskatchewan, BC, and we have friends there now. So it's kind of nice just to be able to go to those places and somebody you know, and they have the same interests. And we have a swap meet every year down in Pinoca or Red Deer, and you know it's just fun. It's just what we do,
You know, it doesn't seem to matter whether we as motorcyclists enjoy riding new iron, old iron. We all enjoy the motorcycle. And to understand its history, the new models that you see on the floor, you really need to come by the CVMG booth, and you need to see the roots and the heritage of our community. Because whether you like to join a group or not, this is our heritage. This is where we came from, right?
Correct, yes, for sure.
What is one thing you would like a young person to understand about actually collecting vintage bikes, and whether they get involved with your group or not, just getting involved in the whole collection aspect of things?
Yeah, well, obviously we need that for the clubs to keep going because, like I said, the mean age of our membership is getting on. And so in order for us to keep going as a group is to attract younger people, you know, and I think they have to realize that too. Young people have to realize that they just can't rely on us to carry this on, that they have to get involved to keep this thing going, right? And so that's the message I would send to the younger people is get involved, keep this thing going, so that we have this sort of thing happening all the time.
There you go, folks. Time to get involved. The CVMG needs you. You can visit their website, Canadian Vintage Motorcycle Group. You'll find information on all of their sections from right across the country, as well as event information. Come on out, check out the old girls, because they really are our history.
Lacombe, Alberta, runner-up community in Canada's most rider-friendly community contest. Situated just off Highway 2, the city of Lacombe provides access to hundreds of kilometers of secondary highway riding, making it a natural stop when touring through central Alberta. From June to August, Wednesdays are filled with music, food, and fun at the Lacombe Memorial Centre for Music in the Park. Lacombe, Alberta, in the heart of it all. Where commerce and community meet. The staff at Community Futures, Grand Prairie and Region love helping entrepreneurs, young and old, succeed in their goals. What can we do to help you reach yours? Well, that's our time for this week, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, we're back at the Edmonton Motorcycle Show 2019 to talk to Shane Baker from Baker Boys, Liz Jansen, and a few more great folks.